1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. Okay, hello, internet world. This is Norma Joe. I just tried to do a video on my computer. My computer's still broken. So, the answer was no, it couldn't do it. It was too fucking broken. The screen is cracked and it's like a damn touchscreen computer, which I don't like, but I'm not the one that picked it out. And whatchamacallit? Yeah, it just, because the screen is cracked, it freaks out from time to time, like all the time, and it just closes things by itself and shuts things on and off by itself, so it sucks. But anyways, okay, let me go get a nice wine bottle to jerk off with. No, I'm just playing. Any of these like a twist off? Oh shit, you need a screw. Well, okay. Okay, my dad just stepped out, so I have to place myself for like 40 minutes or something like that before he gets back. So let me talk about this double feature I saw the other night. Okay, I have to start talking fast. I'm not gonna get with it. Okay, so basically, I saw Sinister. I had seen I saw the 13 o'clock or Scare Salon review of it, and then I saw the Found Flicks review of it after it pulled my interest, and I was like, okay, guess I should see it. So I finally saw it. My parents were out of town, and it was good. It was really good. Okay. The main dude, whose name is Ellison, he's kind of the only character. It's one of those movies, you know, like, I would like to talk about everyone equally, but the problem is they kind of all have no personality, you know what I mean? You know, some movies, stories and stuff, they kind of just serve to paint the world of one character. It's not bad. I mean, I just saw The Tenant, like, at, I think, Halloween, this past Halloween. That's a really good movie, and that's also just about, like, one person, pretty much. So anyways, but yeah, it's one of those. So basically, yeah, the main guy, he has his wife, he has his family, okay? I don't want to go into the whole entire like story, but like, he's married, he has 2 kids, and his wife pretty much just serves to be like the Abbott to his Costello, or I think that's the right way. Maybe it's the other way around. You know what I'm trying to say. Like, she's just a skeptic that, like, downplays everything, and he feels like he can't be open to her, I guess, because she's always naysaying him. So that causes him to go out and get a boyfriend, who's this cop that likes him because the guy's a writer. He writes true crime novels. And apparently, according to the lady from 13 o'clock, his name is based off 2 writers from real life, I guess, but I don't really do true crime. The only true crime I know about is you know, Miami Chronicles. Aside from the really, really famous ones, like fucking Manson and all that shit. I'm not a true crimer, so I don't really know too much, you know, but, yeah. But anyways, this cop, deputy, whatever, he's apparently, like, really into this dude's books, even though the sheriff thinks they suck, and he doesn't like this guy because he said he talks shit about cops in his books, and that he thinks he knows better than the cops, and the sheriff is mad about that shit. But the little deputy is going around behind his back, secretly dating this guy. They don't say that openly in the movie, but, I mean, like, okay, they don't have to be dating, they could just be friends, but, it's not as bromancy as fucking, before this, I saw that movie, Collateral, and though, I don't know if Max was in love with Vincent, but by the end of the movie, Vincent was definitely in love with Max. And that's why I told my mom, like, that's why Vincent let Max go in the end, even though it was jeopardizing his life and his whole career and everything like that. Because he's just like, you know what? I love you, and I want you to be happy. You know, why is the top of my head getting cut off? I don't like that. Anyways, it wasn't like that, but, like, it's just, like, okay, like, you know all these stories where it's, like, you know, somebody's married, that, you know, they love their spouse, but their spouse is not, supporting them in the way they want to be supported, so they get a side piece, and then they start being very open and trusting and everything with the side piece, because, like, that person's kind of like a clean slate that they can be open about things. They can't be open with their spouse. Wow, I didn't think the review was gonna just be like this, but okay. Okay, so since Ellison is kind of the only real character and everyone else is just a bunch of fucking mannequins, he has this one son who literally has nothing to do except provide, like, 2 jump scares in the movie and be, like, a little red herring. But then he might as well just fucking disappear. By the end of the movie, like, my mom started watching, like, the movie starting at, like, the last quarter, I guess. And she didn't even realize there was a son until she saw the little drawing where they're all cut up in the end. She's like, oh, there was a boy too. I'm like, oh yeah, he's, like, laying behind the mom. Like, you kind of have to look hard to see it. But anyways, the little girl, you know, she has a personality in the beginning when she's, like, back talking her dad, but then aside from that, she doesn't really have that much personality. You know, it's all about the dad. So let's talk about the dad, okay? The dad, and in other reviews, both of them highlighted the fact that he's, like, a selfish character, so I guess it's okay, like, oh, that's the dog moving around, okay. So I guess it makes sense for the movie to kind of be all about him, because if that's the way he feels, if he doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself, then that kind of makes sense to tell the story that way. So, basically, yeah, I found this character to be very interesting, okay? People were on YouTube talking about, oh, Ethan Hawke, he gives such a great performance and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I was kind of surprised by what I got. Like, you know, like I've said in pretty much every movie review, I'm not, like, a judge of acting. Like, I just know what I vibe with, you know? And, like, it's just, like, when I hear, like, oh, somebody's, like, put on a great performance, I don't know, I guess I automatically assume that by, like, great performance, they mean, like, realistic. But, like, this character that he was playing, like, I'm not saying, like, a person can't be like this in real life. Like, you can be, obviously there's very many crazy people, and they can be crazy in any way. So, sure, maybe it's realistic to some people, but, like, he's just so extra. Like, he's extra over the top, and, like, from, like, the first moments, like, you can tell this guy is just, like, he reacts very strongly to everything. Like, everything I feel like is an overreaction, and, like, very, like, just very, like, physically, like, overreacting, you know? Like, from every, like, he starts watching these fucked up videos of, like, people getting killed and shit, and it's like, okay, I understand that that's not the best thing to be watching, but I just think most adults would, like, if they've decided they're not gonna put them away, and they've decided, okay, I am gonna watch this, and they're gonna put themselves through that, I feel like they would more just sit there, like, stoically and just feel bad afterwards. Like, I would find it more realistic if they showed him just watching the movie, like, oh damn, and then, like, do, like, a hard cut to him just, like, standing at the fridge, like, in the dark with, like, just lit up by, like, the fridge light, like, just kind of catatonically, like, staring into the fridge because, like, he feels really shitty about what he just saw. Like, that's, I feel like that's a little bit more realistic, but he just gives these really physical reactions to everything. He's like, oh my god, you know, it's just like, damn, like, This is like the squirmiest like guy I've ever seen. And like and also like later when he's like fighting with his wife, he gets these like, oh my god, she's like yelling but he's like screeching. Like he gets these like tones that I'm just like, oh my god, that I wonder how many takes they did to like can you hear my cat peeing over there? I wonder how many takes that took. I always wonder about shit like that because it's just like, oh my god, I can just imagine like I mean like I used to be in like plays in school and you know, you gotta do shit like over and over and over again. And it's like I mean that's the hardest part of acting, whether you're on stage or doing a movie, like is like having like, well, I don't know if it's the hardest thing, but it's gotta be one of the hard things, but also probably fun for people too, because it's like you're supposed to like keep up your emotion, but you're doing this like over and over and over again. So it's like, I don't know. I quit acting when I was like 12, so what do I know about it? But but anyways, I'm just like, damn, with that tone he got when he was screaming and like the arm movements, like, because the second time when I was watching it with my mom, I watched it twice, and the second time the last portion of the movie was on mute, and that scene was in there when I was muting it, and I just see him like jumping around and going like and doing stuff like that. I'm just like, oh my god. And what else? Oh, and when he falls down the stairs, he gets jump scared, literally jump scared. Like it's like an in movie, like a diegetic jump scare from this damn demon. And and he falls down the stairs, and like the stairs, you know, the little rickety steps leading up to the attic, and like, yeah, then the demon like throws down, like first he throws down the projector, then he throws down the not tapes, like the film reels, and then he throws down like a third thing, and everything he throws, the guy like screams like a separate time for each one, and I'm like, okay, you can scream the first time, that's fine because it was startling, but like by the third time it's like, okay, either stand up and start running, or like I feel like, once again, I feel like it would be more realistic if he was more like pinned up against the wall like in fear and like just had like big eyes and was like shaking like that, you know, that's more what I would expect. But I don't know, sometimes the like extreme reactions, like you have to just see the movie. The extreme reactions this guy has like to every little thing is like very entertaining. And okay, moving on from that, what else can I say? Yeah, the demon was kind of lame. The demon had like 2 or 3 times in the movie where he just does like a literal jump scare. Like it's like this. Like it'll be something legitly creepy. Like when, okay, I saw some reviews online where people were like, oh, I wish you never saw the little ghost kids because like it like makes it less scary because you're just seeing them. It's like, oh, okay, that's what I'm working with, you know. But I thought the ghost kids were like okay, but like, yeah, they weren't really scary. It startled me the first time when the girl was like right behind his face, like he kind of moved like this, and then the girl was like right here or whatever. But a lot of movies use that. I feel like that's like a cliche at this point. But I didn't have a problem with the kids. And then when they were watching the demon on the projector, like they were having their little slumber party upstairs, and the dad kind of crashed it. But when like the demon literally, it'll be like this, okay, you know what I'm gonna do, but like the demon will be like, hi, hi, it's me, hi, I'm the demon, like pop up from the corner like that, and play like a jump scare noise, and it's supposed to be scary. It's like, okay, like, and they end the movie on that too. That's the very last thing you see in the movie. Like, they show the box of like tapes, like in the attic, because the box of, I keep calling them tapes, they're film reels. The box of film reels in the attic, like, it just keeps on like teleporting, and the daddy like burns it and everything, but it doesn't do anything. And it's funny because there's like, oh, well, let me finish that thought. Anyway, the box is just at the very end, after everyone's like dead, like the box is just like sitting in the attic, and it looks like the box from like the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 like advertisements, you know, and stuff with all the shit in them. And then yeah, it's just kind of like the camera's just kind of lingering on this box in the attic, like I guess for the next person to find. And then the demon just pops up from the corner like, hi, and like then literally like cut to credits. Like, that's what it ends on. It's so like fucking stupid, but it's funny because it's like a legit like good movie that's like actually pretty like adult and like not silly for the most part, but like then you have these little goofy moments like that, so it's like, okay. And yeah, I thought actually the better actor was the boyfriend deputy, because I thought that his, like I said, okay, I shouldn't take away like points just for being extra, because like I said, if your character is extra and a little drama queen, then you shouldn't be penalized for doing that justice, you know, like because yeah, you should be able to have a character like that, but at the same time it's just kind of like, oh my god, you're so extra, like. But anyways, but the cop was more what I expected. Like he's like, I felt like for the little role that he got, he's pretty like well-rounded, because he he just had, for a minor character, he has many sides to him, you know, like because he starts off like kind of pathetic, like just this like loser like fanboy who like seems like he's like the low dog on the totem pole, and everyone's just kind of like, oh yeah, that little loser. And he even gave me the impression kind of like the deputy at the beginning of Jaws, when he finds a girl's body, he's like crying and he's like, oh my god, I can't deal with this. And it's just like, dude, like, aren't you supposed to be a cop? Like, what did they have you in your training school? Like, obviously, like, these are not tough guys like in The Departed, you know? Like, this is like some little like fucking Officer Barbrady type of shit. But anyways, but then the cop also, he like, once he becomes friends with Ellison, he just becomes like very warm and trusting and trustworthy. And like the way that Ellison kind of like opens up to him and just like it seems like immediately like trusts him, and like after like only 2 times meeting, like the first time he's kind of cold to him obviously, but then when he sees the guys on his side, I guess he just wants somebody to be on his side so bad that like, cause he knows he kind of like he kind of screwed over his family and acted shady. So I think he just really wanted somebody to be like on his side. And so he just kind of fell into it with the cop, because like the cop was the only one like not criticizing him and being like, hey man, like I like you, I really like you, like you can be honest with me, you can tell me anything, you know, and like I'll help you, you know, just tell me what you need, you know, and stuff. So I feel like he kind of fell right into the cop's lap, like, because of that. But yeah, the cop, like I said, he was kind of, like, he could pull off, like, being dumb. He pull off being, like, pathetic and loserish, but he could also pull off being, like I said, like, warm and, like, a kind-hearted, nice person, you know, who has, like, no, like, ill wishes towards anybody, you know. And, a good boyfriend, basically. And, What else? Trying to look out, you know, like how he's like, and I don't know, just the way he delivered his lines, I just feel like he's more naturalistic. Like when, just the way he says random shit, like, oh, like that symbol, that looks like a cult symbol, you know, like it's nothing fake about his performance, you know. Okay. Anyway, I feel like I've talked about this long enough. I know it was all over the place, but I really want to get on to the next movie in the double feature that I saw. So, and I can't believe I took 20 minutes to talk about fucking Sinister. I didn't even have that much to say. I kind of repeated things. But anyways, who cares? Okay, moving on. The next movie is Tiffany the Doll. Tiffany the Doll is an awesome movie. I think it's actually better than Sinister in many ways, but both of them were good. I recommend both of them. And they were a good double feature because after watching Sinister, I felt sinful and I had to cleanse myself by watching a good old-fashioned Tubi independently made movie. And this movie is like, I loved it because, well, you know I love low-budget movies. I love seeing what people just do on their own. There was this Christmas movie on Tubi I watched like not that long ago, and it was, I don't remember the name of it, but it was about a Christmas killer, and it was about like this girl that got hazed in a sorority, and then like this killer was like murdering everybody. But it had the same type of thing as that, where it's just like every set is like somebody's house. If it's a hospital, it's somebody's house. Like there's this part where they're supposed to be in the hospital and it's just this white wall with 2 wicker chairs and you can kind of see like somebody's pantry around the other side of the corner. I fucking love that. I love that. I loved how the restaurant and the bar was like just somebody's like living room and somebody's like garage, you know. I love it because it feels like a play. And I love play. Like, I don't, not that I watch a lot of plays, but I like the limitations of the stage, how you kind of just have to like work with what you got. And you have to just suspend disbelief, and I love that. I love suspending disbelief. I think it's cool. It's kind of like you're allowing yourself more to transport into like the world of the movie. So, anyway, whatchamacallit? Yeah, so basically the premise of Tiffany the Doll is that, okay, like in the beginning there's, oh my god, stop that. Stop! Okay. In the beginning, it starts off with this little thing in the beginning where this lady goes to a hotel to like beat up her boyfriend or something. Like, it's not really clear whether he's her boyfriend or whether he's like a drug dealer or pimp or something. I don't know, but the other reviewer said it was her boyfriend, so whatever. So she goes there, there's a sex doll there who's played by a real human, not a doll, because the whole premise is that the dolls are so realistic that they're like real people and they blink and everything, and they're warm and everything like that. And like the doll is there in the hotel room, and then it turned out she killed the guy. And then it goes to this sex store, which is like where a bunch of main people work, and there's this lady and she's like having a presentation. All these people watch her and she has like these 5 dolls lined up, and she's just like, this is my new sex doll that I invented, and it's like the most realistic ever. It's like warm when you touch it, it vibrates on command, and you know, the only thing they don't do is talk back, haha, you know, and stuff. And like they're like, this is give you everything you need. And it sounds dumb, but at the same, I think it's really good. Like, oh, I forgot to say, I thought Sinister had a really tight script, and I respect that because when I write a story, it's hard for me to not have extra bullshit in there. But Sinister seemed like the fat was all cut from it. Like every scene, like, was useful towards the plot, I felt like. And Tiffany the Doll, I think, is kind of the same way, honestly. Like for like a homemade looking movie, like it didn't take a long time to get started. Like they start off right away with like they start off with the hotel thing, but then right after that they show another doll attacking somebody like pretty early on. Like the dolls are attacking people like all the way through, and they don't explain it. Like you don't have to wait for that to happen. Like it's just constantly going on. But just like some other horror movies, like, you know, as the audience that like the attacks have been going on from the beginning, but it kind of takes the characters like a little bit to like get with the program, you know, so that's cool. And I thought like the premise sounds dumb, right? But when you watch it, I think, oh my god, stop. But when you actually watch it, I think it's actually interesting because I think it's, I don't know if this was intentional or not by the people that made the movie, but like I feel like it's a kind of like an allegory for like cell phones and new technology and stuff like VR headsets, and things just get so popular and you don't expect them to. Not that I'm saying those things are killing people. I think the killing aspect is just for fun, more like. But then the part that seemed more realistic is the fact that, like, okay, in the beginning, right, this lady's giving the presentation saying like, oh yeah, these are the most amazing dolls ever, you know, I created them and everything. And everyone's like, okay, how much is it gonna cost? And she's like, oh, $10,000. They're like, $10,000? Fuck that. Like, who's gonna spend that much money on a sex doll? And she's like, oh, but you know, you can pay over time. You know, you can pay installments. And she's like, come on, anybody like with a solid job can really afford this. And then she goes like, is $10,000 really like too much to pay for your happiness, or I can't remember if she says for your happiness or to change your life, one of those two things. So, you know, she's doing like that angle. And then at first it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever, like who's gonna buy this shit? Maybe some crazy rich person. And some crazy rich guy does come in, like this super like purposely dorky looking dude, and he's just like, I'll buy it outright, you know. And he takes the doll home, and then like he's trying to do like all this corny ass shit, which like I have sadly experienced in my 20s. And like, but you know, obviously that's his fantasy. If he wants to be corny and dorky and have a cheesy ass, you know, rom-com scene with his doll, he can do that. That's why he bought it. So so yeah, he does that, and then of course the doll like stabs him or whatever. And then, but then basically as the movie goes on, like people, like the dolls just start popping up. Like, even though you would think, okay, who's really gonna buy this thing? Like, then the next person is like this girl, and she's just more like, you know, proud of her sexuality, like very shameless. And it's funny because her best friend, they're kind of like her best friend seems to be like kind of the main character, but there's like a group of friends that are the main ones. And yeah, her friend is more like traditional, quote unquote, I guess. But you know, she's just like, why do I fucking need a doll? You know, I have my boyfriend and stuff, and I wouldn't want a doll anyway. I want a real man, you know. And she's just like, oh, she's like teasing her best friend, being like, you're a hoe, you know, and stuff like that. But her friend is just like, I don't care, I'm getting a doll, you know. And she's like, you know, I'm gonna pay installments. It's gonna take me like 3 months, and then I can play with my doll all I want, you know. And stuff like that. So she's kind of like the first one to get it. And then the next thing you know, like another person has one, another person, and then before you know it, these fucking things are all over the place. And people are just like, and the reason it's called Tiffany the Doll is because there's a male doll, but you don't really see much of him. And then there's like, and he's called Henry. And then the female model is Tiffany, but Tiffany is like, there's multiple like versions of her, you know, she's like customizable and whatever. I'm assuming Henry is customizable too, but they just don't, it's not part of the movie. But Tiffany is customizable. There's like 4 different versions of her that you see, but they're all called Tiffany, so that's why it's called that. But anyways, so yeah, before you know it, people, like, there's this one scene where they go to brunch, like a group of friends, and like they bring Tiffany to the table. They're Tiffany that has like I think they have the purple hair one, and then there's 2 like I don't know if they're lesbians or just friends, doesn't matter, that are at the next table over, and they have a redheaded one, and they're like kind of like being nosy. They're like, oh girl, did you see like their Tiffany over there? Our Tiffany is so much better, you know, like it's like that. And then they have the guy who's trying to, I guess, be the boyfriend of the girl, you know, the sexually proud one who was the first one to get the Henry. Like, and then later on she also gets a Tiffany because she said it was on sale. Like, somebody was reselling it. She's like, oh, it's only $2,000. So yeah, it was a good deal or whatever. And then, so these people are obviously like, I feel like based on the stuff they do and the look of their houses and the money they're spending. These are obviously like middle class people. Like they probably have like jobs like maybe in tech or just some type of like upper job. Like they don't work the deli like me. But these people are like, yeah, oh my god, stop. These people obviously work for their money and then they want to spend it, you know? So it's like that. Like they don't seem out of touch. Like they're not like rich and snobby or anything. They just seem like they have good jobs and they want to spend their money, you know? So, oh my god, stop it. Anyways, yeah, the Tiffany's are like in people's cars, and all this time, like, they don't really realize they're like attacking people, except that like one of their friends gets attacked and he goes to the hospital, but they said he got hit in the head, so I guess he doesn't remember that it was the Tiffany that did it. And then this other guy is the only one kind of like trying to warn everybody, stop it! God, he's attacking me. Stop! My god. And he has the nerve to purr when I finally hold him. He's such a fucking asshole. Anyways, speaking of being attacked, this one guy got attacked by a Tiffany, and he's going around trying to warn everybody. And it's interesting because, yeah, there's one part where he's in his car, like, trying to, I don't know, pad some blood off himself. The blood looked pink, but whatever. And he's like, damn, Tiffany, like, she stabbed me or whatever. He's, like, talking to himself. And then this guy pulls up in the parking spot next to him. And he's like, he's like, the guy, he has a Tiffany, like, in his passenger seat. And then the guy who got stabbed is trying to be like, man, you know those things are killers, you know, like, so, he tries to warn him. And the other guy's like, man, just fuck off. Like, I love this Tiffany, you know, and stuff. And, yeah, people kind of get addicted to them, which is another thing, kind of like phones and, you know, other technology like that, where it's just kind of like, at first, you're like, I don't need that, but as it just becomes more popular and everybody has it, and you're like, okay, yeah, I am kind of enjoying this, I am kind of enjoying, like, the perks of this machine, even though it's like, you never needed it, but once you have it, I guess it becomes, like, addicting, you know, like, I mean, I'm addicted to my phone, I'm not even as much addicted as some people, you know, but, you know how it is. You know how it is out there in the world. But, anyways, so, yeah, and some of the parts with the dolls are, like, legitly creepy, because it's, like, especially near the end, it was giving me kind of, like, a Carnival of Souls vibe. I respect them for not doing jump scares, like Bagul, but, oh my god, he's scratching me again. But, yeah, near the end, there was this one part where the doll had a knife, and she was just kind of, like, running through the house in her, like, unitard with the knife, like this, and that was kind of legitly creepy. It gave me the vibe of, like, a scary video game or something, where it's like you just go around a corner and then some enemies coming at you, and then later, yeah, all the Tiffany's band together and they start chasing the main characters, like, in their car, and that gave me, like, a Carnival of Souls vibe, because, like, they don't cut away or make it surprising. Like, you clearly see all the Tiffany's, but just the way they come at them, and they're, like, you know, moving stiffly, and they're, like, in a horde, and they're, like, grabbing for the car. It's just creepy, you know, like, I like that. Props for that. And then also the other thing I like is because it's a low budget movie. I feel like in a lot of low budget movies because they have no choice but to use real people, that you get a sense of diversity and normal personness that you just don't get in Hollywood movies. Like, I feel like because in Hollywood movies everything has to be planned and everything is fake, that even when they try to, like, I feel like they try to, like, okay, say there's a scene where, like, say that this is a big budget movie, like the scene in the beginning where everybody's, like, sitting down at the presentation for, like, the sex dolls and stuff. Like, I feel like in a movie, like a Hollywood movie, it would just be, like, they would try too hard to make them generic, so that all these people are like overly normal or whatever. But in this movie, it's like, okay, I feel like if I went to something like this is the crowd that would be there, you know? Like, it's hard to explain, but just like how everyone's a little bit different, everyone has their style. This one, like, all the women are not the same, and like every woman is different, every man is different, and they have different levels of like sexuality, different styles of sexuality, and different styles of femininity and masculinity with each one. And I just feel like everyone is not a stereotype. Like, everyone is kind of like a real person. I don't know, it's hard to explain what I mean, but like, yeah, when everyone's sitting at the seats, like, for example, like, there's like this one guy with like a really tall like hairdo, and there's like one girl sitting there like with a mask on, and she's the only one with a mask, and I feel like, okay, yeah, that is kind of realistic to how it would be. And like the scientist, the lady who made the dolls, like, she's like, she's not a tomboy or anything, like, she is still feminine, but at the same time, she's not like, I don't know, like, it's hard to explain, like she, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, but everybody is different, and, yeah, and, all the guys are different. Like, there's the one guy who's, like, the guy who works at the sex shop, like, he just kind of, like, has this mumbly voice, and he's just, like, alright, well, I can, like, there's this one part where this dude's trying to buy cock rings or something, and he's like, okay, well, if I don't like it, I can bring it back in 30 days, right? And the guy who works the sex shop is kind of like, oh, yeah, okay, you can bring it back, but bring it back in a plastic bag so we can burn it in the back. That was funny. And, yeah, the main girl, she's always trying to have sex with her boyfriend. He never wants to. That was the only frustrating part, because I'm just like, okay, your boyfriend's saying that he's, look at what's going on in the background. Look at what they're doing. See if she jumps him. Look at the tail lashing around. Oh yeah, see, look at his ears going back. Get him, girl. Jump on your brother. Go on, baby, do it, jump. No, she doesn't want to. She's like, why are you filming me? Okay, anyway. So, what was I talking about? When it's 40 minutes, I'm gonna cut it off regardless. And, like, I still haven't opened the wine. It's too fucking hard. I need a real corkscrew. Oh my god, now I'm gonna have trouble getting it out. And I'm gonna do it on camera so you can see me struggle. Oh shit, okay. I thought there was a corkscrew, like, included in this, but it's not. Anyways, I didn't need it anyway to do the review. I wanted to lubricate my tongue with this, but wasn't needed apparently. Where was I? Yeah, I don't know. Tiffany the Doll is good. Sinister is good. Watch them. Bye.